Hello, this is Mitch Starr, President and Founder of ZenMarketing.com, and today we're going to have some fun looking at LinkedIn's newsletter, their email newsletter, and we'll use them as an example of ways that you can improve your own email newsletter design. So basically, we've gone through. Here's what the newsletter looks like. You can't see this, of course, because it's really quite small, but that's the entire newsletter if you were to look at it top to bottom, and I'm going to go through and break it down for you step by step and show you each piece and areas that you can follow that will help you do your newsletter, and some areas where you could improve to help you make a better newsletter. So right at the very top, you can see the newsletter has a header. It's got a small logo in the top left, and that's about the right size and the right placement for it. You don't need to go overboard with branding. If people are receiving and reading your newsletters, they know who you are. So make it match the site, make it have a logo, but you don't need to go overboard with your slogans and other things to sort of reinforce the message. This banner also underneath it has must reads for Mitch, so it's personalized, and that's an excellent touch. If you can personalize your newsletters, you should do that. And you can see here it's got a see more button, which is a call to action link that takes me out of the inbox and onto the website, which is a very good practice, and essentially one of the goals of the newsletter is to get you away from the inbox and onto the website. Once your reader is on the website, you can cookie them, so you can do remarketing with Google pay-per-click ads, or you can do retargeting with Facebook paid ads as well, and start to build up that audience of people that are a little bit more engaged with you. Right underneath that banner, you can see they've got a two-tiered headline here with an image. So the headline is the right and wrong reasons for changing jobs, and at the very bottom it says should you stay or quit, and there is a hot air balloon. And so essentially what they're doing here is attempting to sort of lead you into a nicely designed message. In reality, what they're doing is confusing you. If the headline is the single sentence, right and wrong reasons for changing jobs, should you quit or stay, make it a single headline and a single sentence so that it is easy to read and understand. Using different fonts, different colors, part of it being italicized, is not going to make it easy for the reader by splitting it, and the image doesn't really support the message anyway. The image is kind of unrelated. What I like to see in this very top of the message is this is where you write your editorial or the letter from the president or the letter from the CEO that says, here's what's in this message, here's why it's important, and here's what you're going to get from reading it. It's the chance that you have to keep people in your message long enough to read it. The other reason that I would do that is if I was to see this on a mobile phone, I'm not sure that it would be all that compelling or interesting to me because it is confusing. I see a picture of something, I don't know why I'm reading about changing jobs and hot air balloons at the same time. The messages and the images aren't related, and there's no real reason being given to me why I should go on and read this. So most likely I'm going to lose that opportunity. Now underneath that, this is a really good example of copy that you can follow. These are a series of snippets leading you into different articles or different posts. So the headlines are very good, the headlines are very clear, the headlines are clickable and will take you to the actual article. You can also add a read more or see the full article here at the end of these little sentences, and you can see the bottom. I highlighted for you at the bottom. It says see more of LinkedIn, that call to action button. And so really the intent here is to take you out of the email and get you onto the website. Generally speaking, you don't want to put all of your content into the newsletter. You want people to read the highlights and move to the full content on the web page or on your website. The other thing that happens here is you can learn a little bit about which things are of most interest to people based on who clicks on which link. So if article number 4 happens to be the most interesting offer that you have, more people will click on that one and you'll see it in the numbers. So this gives you some good market insight, market intelligence if you watch statistically who clicks on which thing. You also don't want your newsletter to look really big and heavy and cumbersome and long, because people will say to themselves, I'll come back and read this later, and they never really do. Next thing underneath that block is another block which is really quite interesting. This is a block with pictures of people in it and links to do something with them. You can follow them on social media. You could go and read more about their bio. This would be a good thing to do if you're a recruiting company and you had different recruiters in your agency, or people that had different levels of experience, or people that had different specialties. This would be a good place to highlight that and just kind of reinforce again and again that you're a viable, growing professional organization. And finally, underneath that, the bottom portion, the footer, has the important unsubscribe button. It's also personalized. It tells me who is this message is intended for, and it's got the mailing address, which is required. So nice and simple. Something you'll notice that there are no Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google Plus, or other types of buttons in this message. Generally speaking, people like to put them on newsletters to show that they're in the game and that they're able to, that they have all these profiles. Generally speaking, don't expect much activity on these. They play the same role as the logo. They're there, but they're not going to get many clicks and not much activity on them. So don't expect to have a whole bunch of people sign up on your Facebook page just because you've got a Facebook button in the newsletter. So that's what you should expect to have happen. Here's a quick summary of what we covered. Make sure your header is small and unobtrusive. Use an intro from the CEO or editor or somebody that tells you why you should read this newsletter and what the benefits are of reading the newsletter. Make sure you have a clear call to action to move your readers from the newsletter onto the website, and make sure for sure that you test what these look like on a mobile phone, and test them on something small like an older iPhone 4. And of course, make sure you use the single column design. That basically is the best way to produce an email newsletter. That's it. If you would like to learn more about how we can do this to help people, go to our website, zenmarketing.com/help. We do this for our customers all day long. And if you'd like to learn how to do it yourself, we've got a training program, nospamemailmarketing.com. You can go there and learn more about how you can learn what we've learned. Hope this was helpful, and we will talk to you next time.